What is going on, everybody? Zach RC here, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to episode number 12 of the F1 2021 Breaking Point Story Mode for the next chapter at the Belgian Grand Prix. We got a cutscene to attend to here, so we're going to jump right into this thing.
Casper,
What's going on?
we need to clear something up. Take a seat.
Clear what up?
Aiden thinks it's his fault that you're retiring.
I'm sorry, Casper. I do respect you. Quite a lot, in fact. And I don't want you to retire. I didn't mean the things that I said. And I want you to know that if you're retiring because of me, I'll...
Will you tell him? This anxiety, it's no good for his performance.
I'm not retiring because of you.
Everyone says...
I'm not retiring because of you. Can I go now?
No. You're going to give him 2 minutes of your time.
Well, Brian, what am I? His therapist?
2 minutes, Casper. That's all.
Everyone said...
Everyone's an idiot. Look, I'm not retiring because of you. I told Brian after Zandvoort. I'm sorry you found out the way you did.
It's tough.
Yeah, can be.
The press. Social media. I don't know. How do you deal with it all?
Listen. There's only a handful of us in the whole world who get to do what we do.
Yeah,
A handful. You deal with it by never forgetting how lucky you are to be here. Understand? Never forget.
Hey, Casper.
Yeah?
Do you ever forget?
Sometimes. Sometimes we all do.
Well, that was a very nice cutscene there. We got to move on to the next chapter of the race, next chapter of the season, sorry, 2 months later. As the 2021 season rolls on, the F1 group moves to historic Spa-Francorchamps. With Casper Ackermann sustaining his recent run of form, AlphaTauri hopes that both of its drivers can maintain this level of performance. Alright, so we got the Belgian Grand Prix coming up. I'm really looking forward to this one because we had some good races on it in the F2 story. If you haven't checked out the driver career, go check out now. There'll be a card up in the top right hand corner of your screen. But without further ado, then we're going to jump into this race, and hopefully it'll be a really enjoyable one for us.
It's Sunday, and that means it's race time here in Spa. As the cars are being prepared, let's join them trackside for the start of the Belgian Grand Prix. Spa-Francorchamps then, a historic 19-corner circuit with a lap distance of 4.35 miles. There's over 100 meters of elevation change here, and with long stretches of the lap spent flat out, a good top speed will be vital for success. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he starts from pole position. And Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Bottas, Norris, Sergio Perez, and Ricciardo, Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Sainz, and Lance Stroll, Raikkonen, Ackermann, Esteban Ocon, and Butler, Jackson, Russell, Sebastian Vettel, and Antonio Giovinazzi, Mick Schumacher, and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Here we go then, lining up P12 for the Belgian Grand Prix. We've got another full race to attend to here, so We'll jump right into this thing. We've got the initial strategy here for pitting on lap 6. It's a little bit faster than the original one. So here we go then. Our aim today finished in the top 5 as we go to 5 red lights for the Belgian Grand Prix, and we're underway. It's a decent getaway. Haven't lost any places yet, but there goes off on the right hand side, and it's just like every other start I've made on the F1 game ever. Going into turn 1, if we've hit the side pod on Ricciardo's car, we've managed to get away with the position there. So we've gained 5 places in turn 1 thanks to the opening dive bomb, and that'll put us up into P7 here. Up through Roos we go, chasing down Leclerc and Lando Norris as we charge through the Ardennes Forest on this opening lap. We're going to close in on those two as quickly as we can, while also being wary of Ricciardo behind us. Will he try and go for a move going into the right-hander? I don't think he'll go for it. There he goes, he backs out, and that'll leave us to P7 here. We're going to try and go around the outside of Leclerc here. We've got space we go around the outside of the Ferrari, and that's P6 up and wrapped up. But there we go, we're not done yet. Here we go to the inside of Norris as well, and we've taken P5 away as well. So just like that, we are up into the top 5, and what has felt like a very slow opening lap for the race so far. We're only a minute into this thing. We've still got a lot of work to do for these 11 laps, bar being one of the longest tracks on the circuit. So like I said, we've got a long race ahead of us here. Chasing down Sergio Perez's Red Bulls, we continue on through the second sector as we get in the second half of the lap. We're right behind him now through the chicane. We have to be very careful making the moves here. We don't want to spin out, of course. We saw it in the Belgian portion of the F2 season during the driver career. We spun the 2 left-handers that came up a while back. So luckily we managed to get away from those unscathed. We had to win the sprint race. So nonetheless, we found our way past Perez now, but he's trying to come back at us now. Here he comes to the left-hand side, but he's backed out of it. He's still there, but he's backed out. There he goes, back behind us, and we've got to work on chasing down Valtteri Bottas in the Mercedes for 3rd. To come the last chicane here, closing down on the top 3 as we round the last corner to complete the first lap of this Belgian Grand Prix. We've already developed a decent gap between us and Perez as well. He's got Norris to contend with behind him as we go into turn 1. And Jeff's telling us that rain is forecast for this race, so we have to be very careful here. This is very similar to the actual Belgian Grand Prix that's going on today. Moving further on now into the lap, we've closed down Bottas. We're going to try and go for a move. Going into the corner, we have to try to go around the outside, and the first raindrops are just beginning to fall. You might not be able to see them, but they are beginning to fall, and we've run wide as a result. So we've had to duck back in behind Bottas. We'll have to wait to try and make another move further on in the lap. We'll try and go for something here. Going through the 2 left-handers, we've run a bit wide and off our line here, but we're still there within half a second of him. So we're going to have to stay close, and you can see the rain starting to make its way down now. So hopefully that won't do too much to our tyres here late or early on in this race. To the inside we go to Bottas, and then we go up into P3 into the podium places, and we're left to run down the 2 title rivals Hamilton and Verstappen. As we move on to the start of lap 3, we can now use DRS, but I assume that will only be brief because the stewards will be disabling it, no doubt, due to the rain. We've gone to the inside of Hamilton, and we're still side by side with him here. I thought we got him in the corner, but he's still right there in that Mercedes, and he's getting the edge. I have to force him out. And here we go up through Eau Rouge and into Radion. It's going to be close here, and we've made the move stick just about. We're up into P2 here, and we're left to chase down Verstappen. Moving further on now, down the straight and further into the lap. The rain is definitely coming down hard on the track now. We've managed to go for a late dive and Verstappen to take the lead, but I've completely forgotten that we changed our pit strategy. I didn't mention that, you guys. We changed our pit strategy, and we had to box this lap. We've gone to the inside, and there we go. And looking back, that was a really stupid move. We've taken Verstappen out. He's got a penalty for that. How have we not got anything? That's a madness. Anyway, regardless, we're in the pits. Sorry, Verstappen, not really much I could do from there. I tried to get back into the pit lane. I really should have done better. Nonetheless, we're in our pit box now, changing on to the green walled intermediate tyres.
Go now.
But the first one on the set of is a 3-second pit stop from the guys at AlphaTauri. Not too bad at all. It puts us out in, I believe that's going to be P6, just in front of Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi. So out of the pit lane we come, and we are back to racing speed. And next up, our first target is the Alpine of Fernando Alonso. But yeah, here he comes now, trying to close up to Alonso and get around him. Essentially in the left-hander here, we're going to try and come to the inside, but we've come too close, and that's front wing damage we've got. We've run way wide. A new strategy is available on our multifunctional device, the MFD, and it took me a minute to decide whether I wanted to change the front wing or not. But I decided that we would, because we have a bit of a gap after what happened with Verstappen on the last lap. So here we come now, back into the pits, just behind. That's Lance Stroll in the Aston Martin, and he goes. He's been having some issues trying to actually get in the pit lane. There's been a bit of a traffic jam that's formed us there since what I did. And so here come a new set of inters on for some reason. We're making a front wing change as well Verstappen reassumes the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix as we come out of our pit. We've got to wait for these guys to go through. We haven't lost too many places. We've come out just behind Sainz and Ricciardo, and just in front of Alonso. So we are around where we were in the first place. Coming out of pit lane now. There's no doubt going to be blue flags in effect for Stroll as we head further down the straight and up towards Radio once again. Still less than half a second behind Sainz, which is expected considering we just came out behind him in the pits. We've gone a bit wide there. No warnings from the FIA, luckily. I think they probably understand it was just what they're driving. We're still closing on Sainz with the slipstream, even in the wet. And there is the blue flags coming out for Stroll here. He's had to let us all pass. We're going to try and go for a pretty ballsy move up the middle. Oh my days, that was incredible. I hate to toot my own horn, but that was really, really good if you ask me. Down through the middle of both Sainz and Stroll, but no time to go on that now. We've got to try and battle Ricciardo. P4, we're going to try and open the gap around the outside. We've hit the back of his tyres, but we've managed to fight our way around the outside on the inters, and there we go, back up into P4, back up to where we were. Now we're back where we were. We're chasing down Valtteri Bottas, so good work from us. Jeff saying great pass through the two left-handers who come here. We've run a bit low and off, and that may cause us to go off our line a little bit and go through the next left-hander. No, and then we've lost control of the car, and there it goes. We've spun the car, and we've been hit by Ricciardo, and we've caused some kind of pile up there. Stroll, Sainz, Alonso, Norris found his way through, and here he comes. Oh, there comes Leclerc. Wow, no, that is not what we want to do. We've spun the car. We've fallen all the way back to P9. We better get a move on here, otherwise Ocon and Perez may catch us. But yeah, we've got front wing damage as well, and these tyres, they're not really short. But by this point, moving on to lap 6, people are starting to change onto wet tyres here, so I suppose we might as well try and follow suit as we come into the pits. Here, running P5 behind Hamilton, Leclerc, and Norris, and I assume that's Bottas up in the lead, but he's coming into the pits this time, so we have to be looking out for where he comes out. In we come into the pit lane, heading towards our pit box. This will be our third stop of the race. Of course, we made the first one for change onto inters, then the other one to repair our front wing for the first time. Now we're having to repair it again and change onto the wet tyres. But hang on, the crew have made a bit of a balls up here because for some reason they're putting another set of inters on. I've forgotten to make the request to change to wet tyres, so they're just putting me onto another set of inters. We've got a repaired front wing, so that'll be good. But I don't know what's happened to this rain. Oh, that's not good at all. That means we could be in for a pretty difficult race here for the remainder of this thing. We're back down in P9, it's back where we started when we spun the car. But so yeah, we've got serious work to do now, because we've got to finish 5th. I reckon it's definitely not over though, so we can still do well in this race. I reckon we can definitely beat the objective, considering everyone's right there in front of us. So we're going to have to get to work here. First target, the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. We're going to try and pull out to the left-hand side, trying to get a run going into those two left-handers, the second of which we spun out earlier. We're going to try and pull down low. There we go. We've done the same thing we did to Alonso a few laps ago. No front wing damage, but Sainz is all out of shape. There we go to the inside. That we made a bit of contact with him there, just to try and force him out so we don't have to go on the curb. And that's put us through up into P8. Alonso pitted, but he's still come up right behind us on the wets. So we're still trying to chase down Daniel Ricciardo. We're going to try and pull to the inside. But he's on the wets, we're on the inters, and that's job done. And that puts us up into P6. So we're now one position away from making that top 5. But this race is in no way over. We've still got around 3.5 laps to go and go to the inside of Norris. And the same we tried to go for the same thing we did for Sainz. We're going to push him out of the way a little bit, and that'll put us up into P5. Just about. And like I said, we've still got work to do, but this thing definitely isn't over. Leclerc pitted for a set of wets as well, and that puts us up into P4. And now we're going to try and chase down Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes. So we're going to try and make a move the same we did to Ricciardo, but we're just not close enough. So we stay in line, try and get a good exit, go for the slow in, fast out approach, going towards the two left-handers here. We're going to want to be very careful. Once again, we pulled to the inside. We're actually on the curb. We've hit Hamilton the same way we did Sainz, but here we go now, moving further on. We've almost lost control of the car, and Hamilton's close back in, but he's really not much of a threat to us now. So this is where things get crucial, because Verstappen's got a 5-second penalty. The rain is clearing up, and we're moving on now to the start of the last lap. The inters are by far the best tyre to be on, so it all comes down to this. Verstappen's got a 5-second penalty, so if we can pass Bottas and get within 5 seconds of Verstappen, we've won the race. We could take a phenomenal victory. A very Canada 2011
Okay, gap ahead is 1.7 seconds. We have 2 laps of fuel remaining. If you continue to cut corners, the Absolutely awesome. Just amazing. Well done.
Another top 5 finish for AlphaTauri. Amongst the drama ants, they've been quietly racking up some good points.
Yeah, it's caught me off guard a little bit, actually. When you look at the table, you realise they're not doing as badly as you might think.
Well, AlphaTauri have been nothing if not entertaining this season, for good or bad. It'll be interesting to see how they fare by the end of the year. As we await the winners to take their positions on the podium, one thing is clear. AlphaTauri have really shown their prowess on the track. This is a team that isn't afraid to take risks, whether that's on the circuit or in the new talent they hire. Today, those risks certainly paid off.
All I'm saying is that the team are back in the mix this season. That's how good you've done.
Yeah.
You're ending your career on a high just like you wanted. You really couldn't ask for much better. You want one?
Hmm?
What's wrong?
Nothing. What? Nothing. I'm fine.
You haven't driven like this in ages. You're out there having a great time. You're raking in the points, but you're doing your moody face.
I'm not doing my moody face. Stop that.
Like this.
Okay. It's Aiden.
What about him?
Well, he's still not right. He's moping around, anxious, apologetic. I think he's struggling.
I thought you were going to ignore him.
Yeah, but he's just a kid. He needs support.
From you?
So, how many races have I got left?
What's this all about, Cass?
Let's say that I've got 3 or 4 months left in F1. What if...
Go on.
Nah, forget it.
No, what?
You laugh at me.
Promise not to.
It just sounds so stupid.
What does?
What if I can...
Oh my God.
What?
You've gone soft, haven't you?
I knew you'd make fun of me.
You want to make the F1 world a better place before you retire. You want to help the team, help Aiden, your own career be damned.
And what if I did?
So Casper Ackerman does have a heart after all. I'll alert the media.
No, look, Zoe, I'm serious. What if I did?
What could you do?
Red Bull have a seat coming up next season. Some say they might even sign him. That is his dream.
And you think you could help?
I honestly don't know.